Can you see me? There we go.
Are you good, bro?
I'm good. Can you hear me clearly?
Listen, first and foremost, andiqhelanga le nto yabo.
Yeah?
Yabona ufake ne-makeup awusemhle.
No, fam. It's just natural, dog. It's natural. Now I'm yazi Insta Live, but since super lockdown, I've started playing around with it.
Yeah.
I had a J and music session earlier. It was quite fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm playing around with it.
I actually watched you like throughout the day, throughout all these lives, and I was like, yo, I don't know how I'm gonna do this thing because I'm not used to this. And whenever people have asked me to go live on my own personal page, I've always been like, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, lately I've stopped overthinking things. I'm just like, it's just vibes. Let's just go with it. So even earlier I was like, I don't know what to say on these Insta Live videos, but right now this is what I'm doing, and if people want to tune in, why not?
And funny enough, like even with what's happening, Gogo, like I think a lot of people like are trying to like go, you know what? I don't know what's next, so I'm just gonna try everything and see what happens. Is that kind of how like you're feeling now?
Not really. I think the funny thing with this whole lockdown situation, I haven't actually felt stressed at all. Yeah. Despite obviously the challenges and the changes that all of us have had to go through in business and personal lives. But for me, I think this is such a beautiful time. And even when I knew I'm going to be on lockdown, I wasn't like, okay, I'm going to create new work or putting pressure on myself. Yeah. I've just been like, you know what, I'm going to listen to my spirit when I wake up in the morning. I'm going to meditate, and then I'm going to follow what my spirit tells me. Yeah, well, so recent, like for example, yesterday I woke up and then something was telling me I need to read. Yeah. And then I just read and I read and I read. And then I started reading James Baldwin, who I've never read before. So, and I love his stuff. And I started reading Audre Lorde and I got inspired. So I started writing. So I'm just letting my spirit flow, my spirit flow, and it's just I'm having a lot of fun, man.
Because the other day we were having a chat at the office, and a lot of people don't know, whether they know or don't know, that I've known you since you were like 14 years old, you know?
Yeah.
Like and the thing that I've always found fascinating is that you've never labeled yourself by like this is what I'm about. You've always been like your vision and your purpose has always been like very clear. But you've never labeled yourself, I'm a fashion designer, I'm this. Is there a reason why you've done that?
I think when I was younger, I wasn't conscious of myself doing that. But I think as I got older, I think I've realized the reason why I'm doing that is because it's how my spirit moves. I believe that in the true essence of who I am, I'm a creator. Yeah. And I can create on any platform, whether you give me designs, whether you give me content, I can create on any platform. If I put my mind and my heart to something, I'm able to do it. So I've never felt the need to box myself because I'm growing, I'm evolving. I think that is a theme, not only in just my career, I think in my life in general. I'm inspired by so many things. So it's hard for me to be like, I'm one thing. I accept all experiences that are here for me to grow, and I think as a creator it's very important not to box yourself, to allow yourself the opportunity to experience life in different lenses. So I think that's who I am.
So how do you explain that to your parents? Because at some point they're gonna say, Mamela, I need to school you. At some point like, how do you put that in a sentence for someone?
How do I put that in a sentence? I think, Yazi, it's funny that you talk about my parents. I think my parents struggled with it for years. My mom very, very much struggles. I don't think they still don't know what I do today. Yeah. But I think what I've started realizing with them and their support wasn't coming from understanding what it is that I do, but it came from understanding who I am as a spirit, who I am as a person. Yeah. And my mom always says that she knew from a very young age that I was not going to be a child that she was going to hold very close. She knew that I'm going to be a child for the world. Whatever it is that I did, she's always trusted my heart. She's always trusted that whatever it is that I do, it will be special. Yeah. Well,
in this day and age, like I think we live in the world of the creative. Yeah. But like if you look at most of the people that are super successful are people that have created something, this platform that we're using right now, the Twitters, all these platforms have been created by people that are somewhat creative. They will also have technical experience. But how, like in the space that we're in, if someone's listening to us right now, how do you explain to them to crystallize, but this is what I'm about, to not only to my parents, but to society? Because everyone wants to be put in a box, but everyone's fluid in our generation.
Yeah. Yo, I think if I had to...
the reason why I'm bouncing around the same question as well.
I think, it's a tough question because I've also battled with what you're saying in my mind, because at some point I remember I called myself a culturist, right? And then people asked me, what do I mean by a culturist? And I said, culturist means that whatever it is that I'm doing, I want to tell stories of my culture and my people and where I come from.
Yeah.
And my culture is not just the culture of cultures, but it's also the culture of who I am as a person, the culture of where I've grown up, Kwalanga, in Cape Town, traveling. It's the culture of who I am as a person. I tell the stories of the cultures that I experience.
Yes.
And then recently, one of the things that I've started realizing is that, so I'm going to go on a bit of a tangent. I'm going to be Kanye for a second, please.
Do your thing.
But the thing is, dog, is that I think people don't love themselves.
Yeah.
Because at the source of who we are, all of us, whether you're an accountant, whatever it is that you do, you are born a God. Literally, God lives in you. Yeah. And because God lives in you, we are born creators. We can create anything. Lloyd, you can create anything. Absolutely. And I think we don't pay attention to what a gift that is. Like, we watch women basically formulate a human being for 9 months. That is a flippin' miracle.
Yeah.
Like, that's creation. We create naturally. Waking up is a creation. Like, the fact that you can breathe, but you don't even know where the on and off button of your breathing is. Like, your body just wakes up, you're functioning. So I believe that we are such delicate, beautiful, created human beings. And when we look at ourselves, we can't see the fact that we are a miracle in motion. And because we are a miracle in motion, we have the ability to create. And especially Singabanda Bamnyama as Black people, creation oozes in our blood. Like, our culture is basically art. Indlela that we relate to each other, that's all art. But the thing is, Tina, we don't see that as art because that's our norm. As I grow older, I'm like, why am I chasing what already exists when in fact I am unique, I'm special, I have my own unique story, and that if I step out and create my unique story and tell my unique story, then I'm a Kanye in my own right.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I think it's also just realizing that even when I have anxiety, like especially now that we're all locked in, we call it pressure about song, we're going to be creative and we're all going to use this time, to create. Obviously we are, but I don't want people to feel this pressure now that, if I don't work for 2 days, I'm falling behind. Like, you trust yourself. Just like a bird is born to fly, you're born to flourish and your spirit will lead you. You can chill the whole week and smoke a J, and then in the last week, you get creative. So I think we like to compare ourselves to other creators. We like to doubt our own timings. Not understanding that by excel, so timing is about different, and the trick is for you to vibe with yourself, get to understand yourself so that you understand your rhythm.
100%. So the thing that I want to just understand from your side, if we're born creatives, especially, and I just want to hone in terms of the space that we're dealing with now. We're in the middle of a pandemic, and as a creative, it's probably not only the most exciting time, but also the scariest time. How are you navigating through it? Plus also, on top of you navigating through it, would you just share with the guys that have tuned in by, like, what kind of things do you think that the government could do to remedy the situation, to assist creatives? Because the other day there was kind of an address, but we haven't gotten fully is our team.
Yo, man, this is a tough question. And the thing is, Lloyd, is that unfage on the spot, so I can't turn away from questions.
I've got lots of those for you. I've got lots of those for you. And we're only 15 minutes in, bro.
Yeah. Yo, man, I think first and foremost, I've been deeply affected by the lockdown. Number one, I've been working on, my clothing brand where I've invested my own personal money. People saw me raise funds using Instagram. I did that whole clothing, bids that I did online. So it's been a really crazy couple of months, just me finally stepping out into myself and really backing myself as my own complete brand. And literally when the lockdown happened, I lost sponsorships, I lost ambassadorships. A lot of the guys in Europe pulled out. So literally, dude, it was like my life is on pause. And the first thing I thought, so I have a new way of dealing with situations when I get anxiety or when I panic. It's literally PBS. It's pause, breathe, strategize. So I paused. And I was like, okay, all my plans are cancelled. I can stand here. I can freak out. I can cry about how life is unfair. And I can cry about how government should have locked down this thing sooner. Or I can actually look at this moment as another challenge to grow myself. And as another challenge to evolve. Because I think also as entrepreneurs, we have to understand that challenges is a part of the sport. And things are going to change. It's either the challenge is going to be the economy, it's either the challenge is going to be personal stuff. But as an entrepreneur, when you decide to start a business, you sign up for all of that. And in times of trouble, that's when you should actually use that anxiety and use that scariness to say, this is my time to shine. Because when a time of crisis like this, people look to entrepreneurs to make society better.
When you are basically putting together a plan of where you're at, number one, right now, in the middle of this pandemic, what you're trying to do is kind of like sort out yourself, first and foremost, as a business, right? And then the second part of what you're trying to do is what you're trying to organize within yourself is, like you said, your soul, in a sense, right? How do you keep those two things aligned during this time? Because it can be very easy, but you're trying to push on and make something of yourself during this time, but at the same time, it's a depressing time, if you think about it.
I think the first thing that I did when this pandemic happened, I had to have an honest conversation with myself. To do a full audit of my life at this point and say, as Siya, where am I now financially? Where am I now emotionally? Where am I now spiritually? In terms of all the goals that I've had, what goals shift now? What plans do I have to basically cross out? After I've done all of that, I look at that, okay, snap, panic. I've literally lost everything. Then from there, I say, okay, let me go back to my purpose. Not even goals. Everyone has a purpose. So my purpose is to tell stories through the different projects that I do. So it could be fashion, it could be, creating content or an exhibition. I tell stories, right? But now the way that I was going to tell my stories has now been affected by this pandemic. So by going back to the source of what my purpose is, I was like, okay, cool. Since now I can't do all these things, how do I accept, number one, that, okay, these things now will have to be pushed back and they have to wait. And I have to have necessary conversations with people about money, suppliers, all those things, and say, guys, we have to pause, or these are the things we have to put in place so that at least those ideas in the long term are still protected. Then when I sit down, that's what actually I've been doing over the last 2 days. I've been like, cool, I'm a storyteller. All these plans, gone. Let me put them aside. Now, how can I tell stories by exploring other mediums?
Let's go through some of the things that you've had to go through as a business person.
No, man, let's talk about it. So I think the first thing that people need to understand, to give them context, is that Tina, as people of color, as Black people, there's a lot of lessons that we never had the privilege of learning. Lessons about money, lessons about business, lessons about resources. We've never had those lessons. So in me starting my business, I was stepping into a world where I didn't know anything about it, but bendizazi uba ndinomyizo, ndinento uThixo andiphe yona that I want to use, that I want to build. And I won't let the fear of not knowing prevent me from trying. I'm actually going to try, and part of trying means that you're going to fail. And I knew that when I was in the trade, when I was starting this business, that I would fail. But before so the first thing now, you know, that I faced as a challenge in my business is that I didn't know that you had to register a business to even begin with. Then I had an idea of that blog, I want to teach people about fashion and style. And eventually I want to grow this thing into an empire. But I didn't know what that empire looked like. And I didn't know what the structures we needed in place to build that empire. So I go to Joburg, I start this blog. In my first year of school, this blog blows up. I start collecting a couple of rands and cents. Mistake number one at that point, I never thought of getting a financial advisor. So I'm kind of like, I'm getting paid, but okay, let's just keep continuing. I'm going to make more money. So that as black people, we don't get. I'll think about future investments. You're thinking, okay, I'm going to get more. I'm going to get more.
Right now, bro.
So I think early on, the biggest failure I had was that I didn't learn the right lessons or have the right structures when it comes to handling money and to handling what it takes to establish a business. So my finances and the business finances were never separated. To the point where I get approached by investors, you know, great people. They take me in, and you know, I end up, you know, signing a contractual agreement, a shareholders agreement. But at that time, I'm young, I'm 19. I also don't know anything about shareholders agreement. I'm thinking, these people love my idea. They see what I'm about. We can build something special. Let me sign on. That's Joe. Only to discover months later that I'd actually signed 75% of my business away, number one. And number two, you know, I was earning lots of money at the time, couple of hundreds of thousands. Doing South African Music Awards, but his salary am 3,000 in young. So I'm in a situation where I'm super famous.
You look like on social media, you're killing it.
Bro, I'm killing a dog. I remember, dude, I was crying in my hotel room in Durban, literally the night before the South African Music Awards. And literally, dude, that's literally when I knew my life had changed, actually, because I was alone in my hotel room. And literally on my phone, I'm literally on Instagram where I'm trending because people are saying, wow, how can the Psalmers have this young 21-year-old running it? So I'm looking at that on Twitter. Then I'm on the Daily Sun, dude, a whole spread about Siya Beyile, Forbes magazine, summer bots, whatever. And the craziest thing, while all that is happening, I'm being celebrated, whatever, I'm on my phone, dude, and I'm looking at my bank account, and it's literally on minus like 3,000. Broke. And that time, I knew that by the South African Music Awards, you're being paid a lot of money. How can I be this supposed businessman who, number one, doesn't own 75% of his business, and number two, is broke? And that time, I'm seen as the this young black guy, ownership and all these things. So, dude, it was really, really rough. And I knew my life had changed in two ways. That number one, I'm now famous. And number two, I'm going to struggle a lot with my business. And I have to be prepared to fight.
The one thing that I remember throughout the whole process and what you were going through was that in my head, I was like, no, Usia, when we talk about this, we'll talk about this, you know? I didn't feel the need to pick up my phone and go, when's again doing it? Because I've always had that older brother thing for you, you know. But I always knew that no, he's gonna figure it out. Whatever it is, he'll be fine, you know. But the thing that I always say is that when something happens to you like that, whether people are wrong or right, there is some sort of responsibility that you need to take and say, you know what?
Definitely.
This thing didn't work out. This thing, people are blaming me for this. It might not be true or whatever, but I need to take responsibility for this. What are those things for you? And for someone who's listening for the first time, if you can share just tidbits of how we got there, like what happened.
So I think on my end, I want to openly say that there's, for just between you and I as well, I want you to be free to talk about anything, Lloyd.
Sure.
And I'm an open book. I'm proud of every mess up I've had. I'm proud of every good moment I have. So I've grown to a mature space in my life where if I'm fully owning myself as a person, I can't say to you, oh, let's have an honest conversation on Instagram Live, but let's not dig deep. No, let's be deep. Like, people need to know the truth, because all of us make mistakes. All of us have fuck ups. And the biggest disease is when we become ashamed. And when we become ashamed, we don't want to share. And when we don't want to share, we rot on our own. So it's important for us to take these stigmas and to take these dark things that we store away, that we never want to talk about when it comes to business, and actually put them on the forefront, especially as people of color. These are the things that we all deal with. So I'm not afraid to talk about those things. I think for me, you know, the first mistakes or the first major fuck up that I had was with my team. Where I had this brilliant vision, you know, with the threaded man, all this excitement, all this energy. And I find these beautiful individuals, some that I knew growing up, some that I met on my journey along the way. And I gather these people for my vision. So together we are working, we end up producing the threaded year, we end up doing all this work that is celebrated. So that's one thing, is that people must not get it wrong, is that as much as I'm Siya Beyile, the threaded man, I had a team, dog, like squad deep. And I wouldn't be here if it was not for those people. And I would like to think those people wouldn't be there if it wasn't for me as well. But the major, you know, big problem that we all had was that we all fell for this beautiful vision. But honest conversations about money, honest conversations about contracts were never had. You know, so a lot of the oldest person in my team was 25 at the time, and I was 21. And so all of us are being paid, working on these projects, and literally, dude, with projects, we never used to do due diligence. So if someone said, let's do this project, we never used to think about, okay, guys, as a team, financially, are we able to handle this project? Financially, will we be able to pay each other for this project? You know, we never used to have those strategies. If something goes wrong, do we have insurance? So we are these young people who are passionate. We end up doing these kick-ass projects after projects. People are seeing us online. People are seeing Mike say, we are doing big projects. We're being celebrated. But behind the scenes, guys are not being paid. Obviously, I'm honest about the money because we're having these honest conversations. But now people are not being paid. You know, months are going by where we're like, okay, cool, we're going to make money off our next project. But all these debts start building up. Now, you end up being in a situation where now your operation expenses are through the roof, and the products you're getting are basically going towards a flipping wow. You're not even seeing it.
I'm going through a bit of a list in my head, because your first mistake was not registering the business, right? The second mistake was not handling the finances properly, right? And then the third thing that you're mentioning is that it seems to me that was the mistake working with friends, or was the mistake working with friends and not handling the business first?
Damn. I think if I can speak candidly, like through the list of lessons that I learned, is that I don't think working with your friends is the wrong thing at all. I've seen friends do incredible things together. Prime example, Dolce & Gabbana. You know, they run $1 billion business, you know? But you need the right friends to do things with. And I think the issue for me, or the biggest battle that my friends had, was that they were friends who wanted to do what I was doing. There was no contentment for them in their positions. They were like, why am I not Siya Beyile? So a lot of the times, the conversations were also about that. But you are the one on the GQ cover. You are the one who's going to recover from this because people know you. People don't know, you know. So there was also
what was happening within the friendship group.
That was happening within the friendship group. That was happening within the business as well.
Can I tell you something?
So,
this is like now honest conversations. Those weren't your friends, bro.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
I can't rationalize someone being mad.
No, don't rationalize. So I found myself whatever space I found myself in, and I was with my team, who I thought were my friends at the time, I always had to dumb it down. Yeah, but so if AKA is seeing me and he's like, yo, Siya, my boy, whatever, I had to say to AKA, oh, these are my people. They had to feel as part of the spotlight as possible. So I was also facing that pressure that it was never enough. And so because I felt indebted to them, I started paying them more, even though I didn't have money. So at some point, I was paying an intern 15,000 Rand a month.
Yeah.
So I started,
At this point, I'll intern as well, bro. Hit me up,
bro. So the thing is, I started being around people. I found myself being around hiring people who are my friends, number one, and they are my friends because they validated me. Yeah, bro. But that validation came with the price. Do you understand? And so at the time, I thought they were friends, but actually they were not my friends.
I think it's like an interesting time to lay the foundation for whatever it is that you want to do next, because where there's chaos, there's opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? I want to gather your thoughts around that thinking, number one, right? And secondly, if I'm sitting at home, how do I get started? Because like you mentioned, validation, and sometimes people want that validation in order to get started. But like, what things get you started? Like, as I'm sitting at home right now, like, what can I do that Siya does that can get me going as well?
Yeah, I think the first thing that I do, number one, I mean, this is just something that I do. I'm not saying I want you to do it, but I wake up at 5 every morning.
Yeah.
Because I have found that if I wake up at 5 every morning, then I have the time, number one, to talk to myself. So I lay out my intentions for the day. I believe intentions are important.
Yeah.
You shouldn't work as a human being. You actually have a choice. And your choices become your actions. Your actions become what you create. At the beginning of every day, I breathe, I talk to myself, and I say, okay, cool, what are my intentions today? And when I put my intentions down, I make sure also that sometimes when you feel like you're at home and you have all this time and you can work, you can also try and take on too much too soon. So one thing I've learned is just to do one thing at a time. So in the morning at 5, I wake up, I pray, I affirm myself, I validate myself. I actually stand in the mirror and I tell myself I'm beautiful, I am talented, I can create, it's okay to make a mistake, it's okay to have doubt, it's okay to have anxiety. I actually tell myself that every morning. It's actually very important. Like, the first time I heard about validate, I was like, oh, that's weird. But Fetulaway, it does so much for you. Yeah, but it does so much for you, mentally and emotionally, for you to actually love yourself and seeing yourself as worthy enough. So that's how I start my day. And then obviously I have skipping ropes, I've got ankle weights, and I've got an ab roller. So then on my balcony, I skip on the rope, I do push-ups, I do sit-ups, bodyweight exercises. Then from there, jump in the shower, I light some incense, I play some Middle Eastern prayer music, meditate, bath, or shower, whatever it is. And then from there, the first thing that I like doing before I actually start working or being creative, to actually pump myself up, I like watching documentaries. So it's either I'll watch like a 45-minute documentary on my favorite sportsman. So lately I've been watching the Man City 2017-2018 season on Amazon Prime. So each time Pep Guardiola's like, this is how we do things, I get amped. I'm like, I need to work. So I watch that for like an hour. Or sometimes I even watch a TD Jakes sermon, on how to TD Jakes the spirit is moving, And then from there I start my day.
Let me turn the tables for you for a little bit, Yabona, because I'm putting myself in the shoes of someone who is not necessarily an entrepreneur who owns their time. Yabona, when you're working for someone else or you're working within a team, you obviously there's a couple of limitations that come in. And the thing that I'm very interested to find out from you is not from the perspective of that, because I don't remember any time in your life you working for someone like full time. So I don't think
never.
The thing that I would want to understand though, like an entrepreneur like you, what would you appreciate from your staff, like, or people who work with you, because those are the people that are going to be doing it like on a day-to-day.
I think actually this is actually an interesting question because I do have two people who are working on a project for me.
Yeah.
So, and one of the things that I've said to them about working from home is they need to learn their rhythm.
Yeah.
So I think what people don't actually understand is that as human beings, we're like computers.
Yeah.
Think of yourself as an iPhone, and every single one of us comes with our own default settings. Based on how we are raised, based on what our favorite things, based on how we sleep. All of us are wired differently. Yeah. But you actually need to hack your own wiring. You need to actually understand your wiring.
Yeah.
So that's what I told my team. I said, you need to understand your wiring. So understand whether you are more creative at night or in the morning. Yeah. Understand, when you lose energy. Do you lose energy in the morning or evening? Are you an early morning person? Are you a late sleeper? Yeah. But start learning your patterns. Start knowing yourself. Yeah. Then, once you know yourself, you know when to work. You know when to utilize your best time. Yeah. Because I said to them is that I'm not going to give you, this is my deadline date. Yeah. But in between the deadline date, these are the checkpoints that I want. Yeah. But how you guys allocate your time is up to you. How you allocate your time is based on when can you get the best out of yourself. Yeah. So it's almost like being a soccer player for like a Man City. And I'm a David Silva. Yeah. Pep Guardiola knows when to put David Silva on the field. Yeah. So you need to know when you need to step on the field. And then you need to know when you need to recover. Yeah. Gotcha. So all of us are actually athletes at home right now. We're all athletes. But we all play different sports. And all these different sports need different things from us mentally. They need different things from us emotionally. And they also sometimes need different things from us physically. Yeah. And so you need to understand, in order for you to do what you need to do at your best, what do you need?
But thank you for making time for us, bro. I really, really appreciate it. And just for the first conversation, I think why I love having conversations with you, it's like it didn't even feel like an interview, number one. And two, like just how much I learned. And I'm sure everyone who took time to listen, learned a lot. So thank you, bro.
No, thank you so much, bro. I think I just want to thank you for always giving me the chance and the platform to express myself. And always thank you for building a space for me to learn and heal. Yeah, bro. And I think this conversation didn't only heal me even more and made me realize even more, but I think it's going to heal so many people. And it's important for us to keep opening the box,
Bless you, bro.